have you ever heard no man can serve two masters?
Yeah, the line expansion, the trap of the line expansion. So I do want to avoid that. I want to really specialize and focus, but I've been focusing so much on passive income because I don't need the active income. This W-2 supports everything. And now I'm like, okay, now I'm in charge of both. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to get my attention split. But at the same time, while we're waiting for the passive income to really start churning, we got to now the active income. It's a thing. It divides a lot of people's attention because while you're building your long term, you got to eat and you got to keep the lights on. And so I'm struggling with that dichotomy of how to do both.
So, and this is partly for the listener as well, since I know you get it, Emma. No man can serve two masters. It basically means you can't listen to this person and this person at the same time. I'm in that experience right this second myself. Back in March of 22, I had hired a coach, a physical trainer. And the coach, the goal for them was to get me my six-pack before my 41st birthday. And made it barely, with just a couple of days to spare. And then I crushed my hand and I couldn't work out anymore. And so in a way, he was still my coach, but I couldn't work out. And I was eating. And so I was serving my master of fueling my body the way that it wants and really not being able to do work with him. So even though he was still hired and paid, only one of those masters really got served. And I gained enough weight that I lost my six-pack after about 3 months of being stagnant. And then I hired him back 5 weeks ago. And during the 5 weeks, I start seeing some progress, but I want a bodybuilding coach. A bodybuilding coach is meant to make you big and strong, and my coach is meant to lean you out. And so I hired both at the exact same time. The bodybuilding coach got me my whole stuff. And so that was supposed to start last week. And so I got one person telling me basically to eat 1,800 to 2,000 calories, and the other one telling me I need to eat 3,500 calories. Neither of them are wrong. Both will accomplish something. The problem is it would be completely impossible for me to eat 3,500 calories in a day and 1,800 calories in a day. You can't have a limit of 18 and exceed 18 at the same time. And one of them has me working out 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and then doing at least 12,000 steps a day. And the other one only has me working out 5 days a week and only doing cardio four of the days instead of 7. And so it's like, you just can't do that. And it is frustrating because I hired this guy ahead of time. I was like, oh yeah, I know what I'm going to want, so I'm just going to hire him now. But he created this thing, and they're both like, hey, you went over on your calories, or hey, you went under on your calories, or hey, why did you skip the gym today, or hey, why did you go to the gym today? You just can't do both. And I think about that for your podcast. If you have somebody that is a passive investor that doesn't want to be active, that doesn't want to do anything, listen carefully. If you're listening in, you got one person who wants to leverage other people's time, other people's experience, other people's networks, other people's work, other people's time, OPT. And then you got a totally different person that has time, wants to put in effort, doesn't quite have a whole bunch of money, or isn't where they want to be yet. And so they're kind of needing to leverage other people's experience or other people's money. And so a dichotomy, maybe, we're thinking, if I've got a podcast, should it attract people for my beta group that ends up being my group eventually, or should I attract passive capital? And what most syndicators have said, and this isn't just syndicators, if you're listening and you don't have a syndication company, just think about it like this. Most people in your business think about two avatars, two masters that they serve. And in doing so, they don't really serve either one. So they launch a podcast and they're all over the board on what do I want to accomplish? Oh, I could do both. I'm going to be in front of so many people that I'm obviously going to raise capital, and I'm obviously going to have a few people that need to be part of my beta group. And they're obviously somebody who could buy these affiliates. But when we are doing more than one goal at a time and we lose, I think focus would be the term. We're losing focus. We're shotgun approaching. We're all over. That shotgun might be fine with birds, but it's not going to be that effective for something that, a missile would be. And so here we run into serving both masters, not really serving either. And the syndicators that have done this mistake have a podcast where nobody listens. Half the time, this information is for me, and I like that. Half the time, the information is not for me, and so I need to find another podcast. And both people say that. So both people are looking for a new podcast. So how do you stay in front of the right person? And here's my advice to make sure we monetize quickly, understand what the ROI is. You got to at least focus on one. Which one is the most important for you over time, over the next 3 years? Is it that you have this active income with your beta group that becomes a group? Or is it that you have unlimited amounts of capital so you can keep closing on deals whenever you want?